before bed. Tonight, we read The Courage to be Disliked by Ichiro Kishimi and Fumitake Koga. You are free the moment you stop living to meet someone else's expectations. So let yourself grow heavy now. The day is over. There is nothing left to fix tonight, nothing left to prove. Just the soft weight of your body, the warmth of the blanket, and the quiet of the room around you. Let your breath slow, in and out, and as it slows, let me sit beside you in the dark and tell you gently about a book about freedom, about the quiet courage to simply be yourself. All day, without quite noticing, we carry other people with us. When we speak, we wonder how we sounded. When we work, we wonder if it was good enough. When we scroll, we measure our small life against 100 brighter ones. We carry an invisible audience everywhere we go, and we perform for it. From the moment we wake until the moment we close our eyes. It is so tiring. This endless checking of ourselves in other people's eyes. The worry that we said the wrong thing. The wish to be liked, to be approved of, to be chosen. The old quiet fear of being judged. And somewhere beneath it all, a heavier thought waits. Maybe I am like this because of what happened to me. Maybe my shyness, my sadness, my temper were written into me long ago and cannot be unwritten. Maybe this is simply who I am. But tonight's book makes a gentle, almost shocking promise that you can set all of that down, that happiness was never as far away or as complicated as you feared, that freedom is closer than your own breath. You only have to find the courage to stop living for the approval of others. So let that audience leave the room. Just for tonight, there is no one here to please. This book comes from the work of a man named Alfred Adler. A long time ago, in the early days of understanding the human mind, there were three great thinkers. One spoke of our hidden desires. One spoke of our deep, shared dreams. And the third, quieter, and for many years less famous, was Adler. He believed something hopeful, something that can be hard to accept, but that can change a life. He believed that people can change, that we are not the helpless prisoners of what happened to us, that at any moment we can choose a different way to live, and that anyone at all, can find happiness. Starting from this moment, many years later, two writers in Japan, a philosopher and his friend, wanted to bring Adler's ideas to ordinary, tired people like us. So they wrote this book, not as a lecture, but as a conversation. A restless young man, unhappy with his life, comes to visit an old philosopher, night after night, for 5 quiet nights in a row. He argues, he resists, he says, "The world is cruel, and I cannot change, and you do not understand." And the philosopher listens and answers softly, and slowly turns the young man's whole world around. He is never harsh. He only keeps offering a kinder, braver way to see things, and waits for the young man to be ready. We get to sit in the corner of that quiet room and listen too. And that is the seed of this book. The young man arrives with one heavy question. The same question, perhaps, that lives somewhere in all of us. Can a person really change? And can someone like me, ordinary, anxious, marked by the past, ever truly be happy? We tend to believe the answer is complicated, that happiness belongs to people with better luck, better looks, better childhoods, better lives. that if only the world were kinder, then we could be at peace. But the philosopher offers a different answer. He says the world is not in itself complicated. It is we who make it complicated. And the path to freedom, though it asks for courage, is astonishingly simple. It begins with how we understand our own past and our own pain. So let us begin there. With the most surprising idea in the whole book, we usually believe that our past makes us who we are, that because something hurt us, we are now afraid, that because we were treated this way, we must live that way. We look behind us for the cause of our unhappiness, and we find it, and we say, that is why I cannot. But Adler invites us to turn around and look the other way. He suggests gently that we are not so much pushed from behind by our past as pulled forward by our purposes. That very often, without knowing it, we decide what we want first, and then we reach into our past and choose the memories and the feelings that will serve it. Imagine someone who is afraid to step outside, afraid to meet new people. We would usually say something happened to them, and now they are anxious. But Adler asks a stranger question. What if the anxiety is doing a job? What if, somewhere deep down, the wish came first? The wish to stay safe, to not be hurt again, to not risk the world. And the fear arrived afterward, to make that wish come true. This is not a way to blame yourself. Please hear that clearly. It is the opposite. It is the most hopeful idea there is. Because if your past simply determines you, then you are stuck forever. But if in some quiet way you are choosing, then you can choose again. The past is real, but it does not hold the pen. In each soft moment, it is you who decides what your story means. So why then do we so often stay unhappy? If we can choose, why do we keep choosing the same heavy life? The philosopher's answer is tender and a little uncomfortable. He says we keep our familiar unhappiness because it feels safer than the unknown. To stay as we are takes no courage. To change, to step into a life we have never lived, that is frightening. And so we keep our complaints and our reasons and our walls, not because we cannot put them down, but because, for now, they protect us. And there is something deeper underneath all of it. Adler says that nearly all of our suffering, every knot of worry in the chest, comes from one place: other people, from comparing ourselves, from competing, from feeling less than, from needing to be approved of. Think of it. If you were the only person in the world, your loneliness would vanish. Yes, but so would your shame. So would your jealousy. So would the endless ache of measuring up. Our wounds are made in the space between us and others, which means that is also where they can heal. Now, in that space between us, a quiet feeling often lives, the feeling of not being enough, of being behind, smaller, less. And the book says something gentle about this. To feel a little inferior now and then is completely human. It is not a sickness. In fact, it can be a soft engine for growth, a wish to climb a little higher than where we stand. There is nothing wrong with looking at the person you'd like to become and quietly walking toward them. The trouble begins only when we take that feeling and turn it into a wall. When we say, I am lacking, therefore I cannot. I am not clever enough, so I will not try. I was not loved enough, so I cannot love. We take our pain and we use it as a reason to stop. And sometimes we do the opposite. We puff ourselves up, or boast, or even wear our misfortunes like a badge. Anything, so we do not have to feel small. But the deepest answer, the book says, is to step out of the contest altogether. Life is not a race. The other people around you are not your rivals. They are your fellow travelers, companions walking their own roads in their own time. When you stop seeing the world as a competition, you are losing. Something in your chest unclenches. You no longer have to win to be at peace. You only have to keep walking your own way. So the book turns now to the one quiet tool that loosens almost every knot. And it is so simple that the young man almost laughs before he understands. The tool is this. In any worry, gently ask, whose task is this? When something troubles you, the book says, look closely and ask, who finally has to live with the result? Whoever must carry the consequence, that is the person whose task it is. And here is the quiet revolution. What another person thinks of you, whether they like you, approve of you, choose you, that is their task, not yours. You cannot reach inside another person and arrange their opinion of you. You were never able to. You were never meant to try. Their feelings about you unfold in a room you cannot enter. And so, gently, you can set that whole impossible burden down. You tend to your own task, your own choices, your own honesty, your own kindness, and you let other people tend to theirs. This is what the book calls the separation of tasks. It is not coldness. It is not building a wall and walking away. It is simply knowing where you end and another person begins, drawing that soft, clear line so that you can stop drowning in everyone else's weather. And from that small line grows the courage that gives the book its name. Because once you stop trying to control what others think, you become free to live honestly, even if not everyone approves. And some people will not approve. Some people will not like you. And the book says, let that be so. To be disliked by someone is simply the proof that you are living by your own truth and not bending your whole life to be pleasing. This is the courage to be disliked, not a wish to be disliked. No one wishes for that. It is the willingness to risk it, the freedom to be yourself, knowing that not every heart will say yes, and choosing yourself anyway. The book is gentle but firm about why this matters. When we live for approval, we are no longer really living our own life. We are living the life others want to reward. We do this and not that. We become this and hide that, all to earn a nod, a like, a word of praise. And slowly, quietly, we disappear. To want recognition so badly is in the end to hand the pen of your life to everyone but yourself. There is one more place this quietly changes things, and that is how we stand with the people we love. So much of the time, without meaning to, we stand above others or below them. We praise a child, a partner, a friend from a little height, as if to say, well done, I approve of you. Or we correct and manage and worry over them, also from above. And just as often, we place ourselves below, anxious for their approval, smaller than we truly are. But the book invites us, gently, to stand level, side by side, eye to eye, not above and not below, but as two human beings of equal worth. For even praise, it says, can be a soft kind of control, a way of handing out marks that quietly keeps us apart. In its place, the book offers something warmer, not judgment from above, but encouragement from beside. Not, I am pleased with you, but simply, thank you. I'm glad you are here. You helped me. Words like these do not rank a person. They do not weigh them. They only say, you matter to me. And between two people, standing as equals, something rare begins to grow. The quiet sense that we were never rivals at all, but companions, helping one another home. So let us turn these ideas into something you can hold. A few gentle practices to carry into your days and into the quiet of sleep. There is nothing to do but listen. Let them settle like leaves on still water. The first is to ask simply, whose task is this? When a worry tightens in your chest tomorrow, pause and ask, is this mine to carry? Or am I trying to live inside someone else's opinion? And if it is not yours, let your shoulders drop and gently hand it back. The second is to set down the scoreboard. For one day, try to want nothing in return. Do your kindness, your work, your care, not to be praised, not to be noticed, but simply because it is yours to give. Notice how much lighter you feel when you are not waiting to be rewarded. The third is to compare yourself only with who you were, not with the brighter lives of others. They are walking their own path, on their own ground. Tonight, ask only, am I a small step gentler, a small step truer than the person I was a year ago? That is the only race that was ever yours. The fourth is to trade judgment for warmth. Instead of praising people from above or scolding them from above, try meeting them as equals. A simple thank you, a quiet, you helped me, words spoken across, not down, and turn that same warmth toward yourself. For you too are only doing your best. The fifth is to trust without keeping accounts. Whether another person honors your trust, that is their task. Yours is only to offer it. With an open hand, it is a softer way to live than guarding every door. And the sixth is to feel that you are useful. Before you sleep, find one small moment from today when you are of some quiet use to another living thing. A word, a help, a presence, that feeling, I was of use, is the doorway to a happiness that no one can take from you. And now, for a breath, let the practices go. Rest your attention on the air moving through you. Don't change it. Just breathe in and breathe out. Feel your body grow heavier against the bed, held and safe, with nothing at all to prove. Now, the young man in the book is not satisfied. And perhaps a part of you isn't either. So he asks the obvious, worried question. If I stop chasing approval, if I only mind my own tasks, won't I become cold, selfish, alone? And the philosopher smiles. He says, no. You have only walked through the first door. The separation of tasks is where freedom begins, but it is not where it ends. We let go of needing others, not so we can drift apart, but so that we can finally be close to them without fear. Because when you no longer need someone's approval, you can offer them your honest love. When you are not keeping score, you can give freely. Freedom was never about turning away from people. It was about turning toward them with empty hands and an open heart, expecting nothing back. And that turning toward others, toward the world, has a name in this book, and it is the most beautiful idea of all. The book calls it a feeling of belonging, a sense that you have a place here, that you are part of something larger than yourself, your people, your world, all of it. But here is the tender truth, that belonging is not handed to you. You do not wait to be given a place. You make one by contributing, by giving some small part of yourself to the whole. Belonging is something you build with your own two hands, one act of care at a time. And the book offers 3 soft steps onto that ground, 3 ways to turn from worrying about yourself toward the warmth of others. The first is to accept yourself, not to pretend you are more than you are, but to look honestly at the person you are tonight, and to be kind, to change what can be changed, to make peace with what cannot, and to stop punishing yourself for simply being human. The second is to trust in others, to choose to believe in people, not because they have earned it with proof, but because a life lived in suspicion is a cold and lonely one. Whether your trust is honored is their task. Offering it softly is yours. And the third is to be of use, to give, to contribute in small and ordinary ways to the people and the world around you. For it is here, the book says, that happiness quietly lives, because happiness in this book is simpler than we ever believed. It is not fame. It is not being admired. It is not winning. Happiness is the feeling that you are of use to others, a quiet, inner sense of contribution that needs no applause to be real. And this means you do not have to become someone else to deserve it. You do not have to be more beautiful, more clever, more successful to be worthy of your place. Right now, as you are, tired, imperfect, ordinary, you can be of use to someone, and in that, you are already enough. And if you ever wonder what your one life is for, the book gives the kindest answer. It says there is no single meaning stamped onto your life from the outside, waiting somewhere to be found. The meaning is yours to give. You are the one who decides what your days will mean and who they will be for. And when that choosing feels too large, there is the one quiet star to steer by, to be of use to others, to give. As long as you keep that gentle direction, you may wander and stumble and begin again, and still you will never truly be lost. For a life spent softly, lightening the load of others, is a life that was never wasted. It is, in the end, enough. And how do we live all of this? In an ordinary life, in the morning hurry, the difficult people, the long plain days. The book offers one last lovely picture. We tend to think of life as a long line, a journey towards some far-off destination, as if real life will begin when we arrive, when we are successful, when we are finally loved enough. And so we treat today, this breath, this evening, as just the road to somewhere better. But Adler says, no, life is not a line. It is a series of moments, small glowing points of now, each one whole, each one complete in itself. You are not on your way to your life. You are already in it, right here, tonight. This is it. And so, the saddest mistake we can make, the great untruth we tell ourselves, is to refuse to live in this moment, to keep staring at a past we cannot change, or a future that has not come, and to miss the only place we have ever truly lived, here, now. So we are not meant to march toward the horizon. We are meant to dance here, in this moment, and this one And this one, and the only star we need to follow, is a simple one, to be of use to the people and the world around us. As long as you do not lose sight of that quiet star, you cannot lose your way. There is no wrong place to be when you are giving your small light, here, now. So let the whole day go now. Every worry about how you are seen, every thought of who approved and who did not, none of it has to be carried into sleep. Feel the breath, soft and slow. Feel the gentle weight of your arms, your legs, your head against the pillow. Listen to the small sounds of the night. A distant car, the hush of the room, the quiet of the world turning without your help. There is nothing to prove here, no one to please, no one to become, only you, free and enough, exactly as you are. There is no past to fix, no future to win, only now, only this soft, safe moment, holding you. Good night. Thank you for being here with me tonight. May you rest in the quiet of this moment and find your way back to the peace inside you. I'll see you with the next book